mic. Mic off. Mic off.
No, your 1910, your mic is mute. Like you need to unmute and zoom.
Okay, got it,
Yeah.
got it. Sorry. I'll start. I went to SSB Kapurtha, 31 SSB in November. I got screened out. That was my first attempt. So now I'm having 3 SSBs continuously. The first one will be my AFSB in Varanasi, 27 July. Next one is the CDS-SSCN in Allahabad on 16th August. And SSC Tech is still awaited. Let's see when the dates come out. Not yet. Right.
Yes.
Can you all hear me? Yeah, bro. So my name is Akash. This is my first SSB, and this is through AFCAT. After this, I have 2 more SSBs lined up. One is the SSC Tech entry, and the other one is for INET, Navy entry. So, yeah, so currently I'm in the final year pursuing engineering. I'm from Hyderabad. This is all about me.
Gentlemen, this topic is quite into the news recently about the transgenders. You see, we have seen that the women they are getting so much of opportunities in the Indian Armed Forces, and it is due to the fact that research is being done on their psychology. Okay, that's why they are getting more opportunities. That's what I think.
So, friends, what I personally think
don't
is the another reason might be that transgender have not been yet accepted in a society. They are still considered as a taboo. And if we go back in history, the word transgender or even the concept of it was not really widely discussed in the society, because previously we used to think there are only two gendered, male and female, not more than that. But in the recent past few years, we have been recognizing multiple communities, multiple genders as well. So as a society, we have not yet accepted people who were born as a transgender have been not been accepted in a family, right? They have been abandoned, they have been marooned, and then for the survival they have to join any other communities where the primary thing in their life is the survival. They are not even thinking about what is going to be their career or something like that. So the prospect of career comes only when you have other basic needs fulfilled in your life. If for those transgender communities, if the basic needs are not fulfilled, then how can they think that they need to uh, go and choose any different kind of career? So this is one of the reason.
I would like to I would like to add to your point.
I
The
totally
first
agree
thing
with
that
2
I would like to add to your point that the first thing that we have not accepted them in our society are mutually and collectively related to the other 2 points. Why don't we accept them in the society? That is the reason that their portrayal in the cinema, that researches on their psyche has not been done. We as a society in the new world are looking for alien civilizations, whereas we don't even know about the third gender. Talking
I'd like
about
to
the
add
woman
to
I
that
empowerment.
would
point.
like to bring back our
You see,
conversation on the main
our culture is such that we have had these people for hundreds of years, if not thousands. So they were a part of our culture for forever, you can say. But this taboo has been created over the recent few decades. While in fact they were an important part of our community and they had a very respectable place in our community, in
Okay,
our
The
okay.
society.
past,
I
So
totally
but the
agree
past
with
also,
you,
like,
0511, but I would like to bring back.
yeah,
I would
gentlemen, I would
really
like to
like
add a
to
couple of points.
bring back
So,
our
so
transgenders
it
have
is.
focus
never
on
been
the main point
uh,
over here, that the
have,
why the transgender are not included in the army. We are to completely focusing on transgender. So can we come back to the topic? So I think it's personally because of all the reasons that you all guys mentioned. I totally agree with most of you. So I'll come back to that. So I think it's until now transgender were they were not like expressing their gender freedom. They didn't had that kind of freedom. So the point didn't come that the army, nobody was like, okay, this is the transgender and we can recruit him, because people were suppressing their feeling, people were suppressing what they actually are. So this is a far-fetched thought that why are we not recruiting them? So until now, people were not coming forward. Army is an organization which give come forward. Until now, they would have got an equal opportunity. So what I think right now is when we have created a environment that these people are feeling free to come forward and talk about themselves, and now we know that they are as much capable as women or men or any other gender. So
We
now I
actually
think the army is seriously thinking about it. And as I recall, as of yesterday, the army has declared that they are now they will be recruiting transgender into the army.
Yeah, so they are
So
considering
that's all I
this.
want to say.
army is
Okay,
not
okay. The first
considering.
thing,
It is
okay,
the police
let
forces.
me tell you something that
It is the police forces
the
that are considering.
transgenders, firstly, they are not at all physically weak than men. There have been many instances where a single transgender have overpowered 2 or 3 men single-handed. So the physical criteria has negated over here. And the main beginning of the topic, the psyche of the transgenders is not yet understandable fully. That is one of the main things. And when it comes to the recruitment part, the Indian Armed Forces might not have started the recruitment, but the Central Armed Police Forces, as you know, the SSBs and CRPF have already started recruiting transgenders into their forces. And the SSB, as recently as a week ago, has announced this that it will be allowing the transgenders to join the forces. So if we negate the IAF, the Indian Armed Forces, the CAPFs have already started recruiting it. So the process already started. It's just time that IAF, Indian Armed Forces, includes them into the forces and it starts the recruiting process. So there is nothing like that. Things are changing and CAPFs already started recruiting them. IAF will fall in line too soon.
The
In
process,
order to improve the
the
public
reason could
image
be
of
the
But we need
process
to
transgender,
discuss
itself.
like
I'd like to add
why
a
The
point.
reason could be the
I'd
process
like to add a
itself.
point that
See,
if the
the
recruiting from
public
Indian
the
image of
armed
transgenders could
forces,
be
the
improved.
Indian armed forces recruit people who, looking at their OLQs. Okay, they are recruiting officers looking at their OLQs. They're recruiting soldiers as per their qualities. So even today, we do not have women in our infantry regiments, right? That is because the infantry regiments, they go into various different places like deserts, and they have to live in forests and all. It's not like women can't survive there, or they can't handle it, or they are not strong enough. It's just that our society is still not so matured that we can expect from a woman to live with men, because when you live in a jungle, when a regiment lives alone in a jungle, that those men, they live like brothers. They have to survive together. They get naked in front of each other. So it could be more of a taboo that is still in the minds.
Yes,
I would
exactly.
like
Adding
to
to
This
add
would
what
to
be
your
one of
point
the reasons.
511 said, the point
because
being here is that first, because for both male and females, like we are still facing the discrimination just for the gender. Just for the females, we are suppressing them. We are not giving them equality of opportunity. Once we have to come through this particular stigma, then we'll be focused on the third gender, which is a transgender, right? So basically, in our society, particularly in Indian society, we are considering it as a taboo. And we, like, personally speaking, when we go around, when we move around in the usually on the traffic stops, when the transgender people come, people are not really consider them as a human being. They all keeps running away from them. So first, when we start accepting any kind of gender in a human being, then we can start thinking of giving them equality of opportunity, so that
of course I would like
even
No,
to add to your
I
point that
this
would
is about
totally
the
when
agree on
transgender
common
babies are
2001.
born,
population. This
I
is
when
about the
totally
common
transgender
population.
agree on
when
2001's point.
transgender
So I
babies are
would like
born,
to
the
build on this
transgenders
point.
take them away to their wherever they live. Okay, the parents are even not accepting their babies if they are born transgender. That is the root cause of the stigma that is in the society right now. Parents have to take
Gentlemen,
responsibility
I'd
for
like
it.
to bring in
1910
a
parents.
geopolitical view
I
in
would
this matter.
totally like to build up on 2001's point that he just said that transgenders are like we are not accepting them in the society. But what I think is, let's just not, I don't think what image all of us have of transgenders, they are as much human as men and women. Yeah, I don't even agree with the psych part. What do you mean by we don't studied the psych part yet? I mean, guys, they are as much human as we all are. They have OLQs. They can take critical decisions. And in fact, transgenders are leading so many industries. There are positions that they are somewhere they are CEOs and somewhere they are like, we don't need that much to understand psych and all. Like, they are as much human as we are. Why are we like treating them like somebody, something else, some other, I don't know what. But like,
No, we
I
need to
agree with
consider
your
them as
point.
different
I'd
because
like to bring in a geopolitical view.
okay, yeah,
yeah, just adding to
There
this,
are
that part as
instances,
well.
there are
I agree.
instances, no, I would like to tell that
You
there are
can't.
instances on the net where they have been reported that the transgender mentality is very unpredictable. So what 0505 has told is completely acceptable. Psych plays a major part. Okay. And there have been multiple instances where the transgenders mentality or the behavior they put forth is very unpredictable. I'm
They
not
are
taking
being
any side
subjected
there. I
to
don't mean to be
they are being
mean.
subjected
But
to
the thing is,
extreme
the trauma which
negativity
they
from their
undergo,
birth.
the
That's
trauma
what
which they
Traumatic
undergo
that is
experience
what
and also
from childhood,
extreme
it obviously
threat.
plays a role and affects their psyche.
Yes,
that
they
is
have been struggling with their identity. They
Gentlemen,
have been
I'd like to bring
struggling
in
to
a
just
point of
survive.
view from a
So, if
geopolitical
any person, be it
from a
irrespective of their
geopolitical
gender,
angle.
if
You
any
see,
person
when
is struggling for just for their survival, right? Their capability of taking decisions would be far different from other human beings who have not seen that survival, that struggle. So
getting transgenders into the
why do
mainstream.
they have that struggle? Is because we are not accepting them as a
lack
same
of
human being as we
acceptance.
accept
That is
as a
what
regular
the
people.
getting transgenders into the mainstream civilizations will take a
Yes,
generational change.
yes,
We as people have to get the next generation of transgenders the right identity in the society right now. We are a socialist society. Socialism
Yes,
is
and
there
the
in our preamble.
same
It is
problem.
also there in our constitution. Why are we not using the manpower? Although the word is very ironic, manpower, but why are we not using the asset that our country has? They should be made teachers in the army, in the air force, any field you ask. The
yes, exactly. We need to
recruitment
first
Let's
bring
also
think
up
of
started
a
in
something
I
scenario.
as
would
I've
like
we
to
already
I
talk
would like
about
recruited
to put
them.
forward a
how
It's
we
very
not
can
just
consider
the.
important
individuals
It's
in
not
point,
terms of
just
armed
the.
forces.
guys.
It's not just our
The
country.
point
It's the
comes that
entire
how other
world.
soldiers and
Okay,
how
the
other
society,
people in the
entire
army
society.
accept transgender with
So
them.
Yes,
So
that's
okay,
first exactly the first point. How society accept them, or does society does not accept them?
right.
That's exactly the basic point that comes down to. So once society
when
start accepting them, then we can think of how they are being portrayed in the cinema, and then we can think of doing research on their psyche. First, even if we are
exactly.
not accepting them as a the person or a human being with which we can work and with which we can share our time, share our space, if that particular basic necessity is not there, then we can't even really talk about having the research or having the experiment on their psyche. If we are not
I'm sorry, I
even comfortable,
disagree.
if
You
we are
see,
not even
the
comfortable of
research could
transgender
help
sitting
people.
beside us.
The research could help people accept them. You see, it's not the condition only in India. It is in many of the countries around the world. So, if we recruit them into our forces, there could be a scenario that people start dishonoring our forces and start calling it the
No,
forces of transgenders and all. This could be one of the scenario in
I don't
today's
think we
time.
should
Maybe in
be
the future,
seeing
let's see.
others'
I
point of view. Our armed forces
exactly.
have
I would like
performed
to
in the past.
disagree.
They are performing in
Exactly.
the present, and they will perform in the future. It is
And
not
it
who is
is
in the
the
army.
No, they go
uniform
It
through
is
a
that
the
training
people
process.
see.
it is
They
the
cannot
It
be
uniform
like
doesn't
that
matter
performs.
who's
someone
behind the
cannot
It
just be
is
uniform,
dishonored
a
in an
man,
army.
woman, or
Anyone
Indian
who
army is
gets
transgender.
an
recruited
Uniform is
has
aspirant
to
first
follow
army.
their
and
training
The
process.
foremost.
officers
Very
are
hard and
chosen by
rigid
the
training
SSB.
process. Right.
We are
What if?
your point is directly
What about their body? I mean, We
That's what
do
I'm saying.
get
There has been a
rejections
recruitment process.
based
There
on
is some
Our
their
bodies,
specificity
our
that they have to
bodies will be
perform.
changed if we
There
get
are
recommended
physical
and
needs,
get
there are
trained in the
physical
academy.
standards
Same way,
that are required
their
to
bodies will be changed.
get into any armed forces. If they meet the criteria, then how come the gender comes in the picture? If,
Exactly,
See, women were
exactly my
added
point.
to the
If
army in
SSB approves
1992.
them, if they go through the
Of
training
course,
from the academy, how come the gender comes in between? Guys, they have as much control over their sexual desires as we all have. They have as much control. Talking about the trauma, that I don't think every person, like 100% of them, goes through the trauma.
right.
Let's just say that 10% of them has as intelligent as all of us. They are citizens and they have as much right as we have getting into the army. So instead of saying that it will take time, let's just start the process. It will, over the time, we will have more things to, like, we'll have more knowledge about them. The army is they have already started the process of, like, giving the getting the process.
So just
And
to add
talking
to
about
that point, if organization like
I
Indian
agree
Army
with
starts accepting
3007, but let's
transgender in
think
the recruitment
about
process, it will
their
also open up
biology.
the
What
different
about the
opportunities, different
imbalance
career
of
prospects for the
chemicals within
transgender.
them?
Then society
It
will,
could create a
or an
problem
organization
I
in
like
would
any
like
Indian
to
institution.
Armed
add a
Forces
point to
is
0511's
accepting
point. We
transgender.
recruit dogs. We have dog regiments in the Indian army, but their biology is totally different from humans,
But
right?
no,
Dogs
right,
are
you
yes,
serving
can't
in the
compare
Indian
dogs
Can't
with
army.
humans,
use
right?
humans to
Yeah,
save.
Humans
of
are
course.
different.
So their
Humans go
that is
to a
what I'm
war,
saying.
goes on the
Their
border.
biology is totally different to humans. So how come you
Yes,
say that biology matters? I think all three genders are equal, provided they get
yes,
ample training in our academies and further on in
No,
the training
all three
institute.
genders are not equal, but whatever
or
armed forces require in an officer,
Yes,
that
in
should be
that
there
sense.
in a transgender.
Yes, sir.
exactly.
First of all, let's keep all this aside. The first thing which needs to be developed is education. So the minimum education even which a
Right.
soldier has is that of a 10th grade. So what do you think that transgender is being educated? And whose flaw is it? It's the government's fault. The government first has to set up centers where transgenders are at least assured education up to class 10 or 12. Only then you can think about recruiting them in the army. Even without a proper education, how can you get them into the army? So if the government takes things into its hands and set up proper education centers, okay, let it be either co-ed or particularly boys, particularly girls, or only for transgenders. At least they'll get a proper education, which will increase their mental power, the power of thinking. So in that way, they will know what is right and what is wrong, how to behave in a certain place, how to talk to people, how to behave among people. They firstly the government has to get in things and get them educated. Education is the main part to get in the armed forces. Without education, there is no point. There is no talk of getting into the armed forces because they aren't
Yes,
educated
I
at all.
totally
So
agree
there is
with
no
this point. Government needs to make special schools so that there won't be discrimination
By
for them.
special schools, I
So
would
that
say that they should be added to normal schools. They should be
Saying
integrated
saying
into the
saying that we should
society.
have
yes,
special
yeah,
schools,
No special school,
discriminates
right?
them, that they are different from other
that
genders.
No
does that does
discrimination
yes.
should be them. The next generation should be made to feel comfortable. Thank you.
Exactly. Yes.
Our next generation will also be comfortable around them. They will accept them because children are impressionable. If you
Yes.
put boys in a different row, girls in a different, many of us have gone through that. So there is a sense of animosity, and you know how the crimes against women are there. The crimes against transgenders will also increase with that way. I would like to put up a fact. I would like to put up a fact. The first woman was inducted into the army in 1992, and it took 28 years for the Indian Army to give them the posts of commanding officers back in 2000, now in 2020. So it took 28 years. So do you think that we can learn from our mistakes and not take such a long time to include transgenders into the society. It is human resourcefulness that is needed. You understand? Yes. Most important step. Initiative is important.
Exactly.
So when
As we have
SSB, when the
initiated, I
CAPFs,
think
when the CAPFs and SSB and CRPF can do it, so armed forces can also do it. There's
Of
no
course.
the only thing between the CAPFs and armed forces is the work profile, where they work and what they do. Apart from that, the terrain they work and the work they do, the physical exertion they do, are all the same. There's no much difference in that. That is there.
Right.
So firstly, for the transgenders, if they have to be inducted, the inclusion must start at school. The inclusion must start at the
Right.
very primary level. Only then
Inclusion will start in
you
the
can
society. Like as a society,
yeah
we
you
should not.
see
We
the
cannot just
society you will start
They should
learning about
have the
people only when
education.
you're
They should
a
have the
young
education.
a young mind is easier to mold than a transgender who is 20 years old. A
Of course.
person who is
Yes.
5 years, it's easier to mold his mind and mold him into society than imposing sudden changes into him. So the inclusion must start at a very primary level, and I would say schools are the best place to start. Only because there you know how to interact with people, how to mingle with them, and in
That's a
that
very,
process,
very far-fetched process. If
Gentlemen,
when the
if
transgender are
we
born,
add them to our
hospitals
own
know that
schools,
any
you
babies has
see
born
the
as
same thing
transgender.
could happen
At that
over and
moment,
over
they
again
abandon
to
them.
One
them.
by one. I think we should speak one by one. Yeah.
So
Okay.
early. Yes.
I think yeah, I think we have repeated so many
A
points.
lot of fun.
Either we
yes.
should move on to another topic, or
Yeah, I think so. We
let's
should
just
end
now.
this.
Anybody wants to say something? I mean, yeah. Let's just take
I'd
five
like to
minutes
add
and
something
give.
about the schools. Yes, about the schools. You guys said that they need education. Of course, they do need education, but most of them come from a really poor background. Okay, and they can't afford to go into any private school, so they need to be put into some
No,
government schools. But the problem there
Yeah.
is that the normal people that send their students to their children to the government schools, they have very backward thinkings. Though they come from very low income families, and that's why that is the problem. So
no.
that is why
I
it
would
is
beg to
important
I
for
differ.
agree.
individual
I would
school.
beg to differ with you. I would beg to differ with you. In the present scenario, the schools where the private schools are much more discriminatory to the transgenders than the children who go to government schools, because the transgender people live in societies. They actually live in slums and societies where the children go to government schools. So obviously that won't
I
be a
think we are
problem
a
for
little
them.
bit
The
deviating
fact
from the
is
topic. The
that I
topic
have
is why
No, I
actually
was
transgender
just
are
seen
backing up his
on
in
point.
ground
armed forces.
poor people
We are
being
going a
more
very far
kindly to
why there is
transgenders.
a discrimination in transgenders. I think we should stick to 3 points: the society, the cinema, and third, the psyche. We should keep our discussion around that rather than going very back
The
that why
society, the
is the discrimination
society,
in
Uh,
transgender rather than going to that.
guys,
their discrimination in the
just a second, bhai. Oh,
So guys, let's
हाँ हाँ.
repeat the points once again.
ओके
Okay.
गाइस अभी अभी ना थोड़ा थोड़ा बैक टू आवर सेल्फ आ जाओ, मतलब हो गई कन्वर्सेशन, हो गया ग्रुप। अभी ना नॉर्मली जिसको जो भी बोलना है, मतलब एक दूसरे के बारे में या खुद के बारे में, खुद ने क्या गलतियां की है, मतलब मेन पॉइंट हम खुद अभी यूट्यूब पे वीडियो देख के तो खुद को देख ही लेंगे एकदम, मतलब पर्सनली हम एक दूसरे को पहचानते नहीं, फ्रैंकली एक दूसरे को बताओ कुछ गलतियां
and
की होंगी, खुद
please
की
be
भी
blunt.
गलतियां
Start
बताओ।
one by one.
उतना ही
Start one by
develop
one.
होंगे.
Let's start one by one. Okay, and give your feedback and give feedback about others very frankly. Okay, so then we all can improve. So maybe we can start with whoever
Numerical
is
order.
in numerical order. Yes. Okay, take it.
Sure.
So maybe 0505, you can start with your personal feedback and then feedback about others. Then everyone can go numerically. think
Come on, Anuj. Anuj, just be blunt. There must be
just be blunt.
something or some
There
point.
must be something. Yes, there should be something.
Or
अगर नहीं होता तो
strictly
हम
you
यहाँ नहीं
should
बैठे होते ना,
find
हम अकेडमी में
something.
बैठे होते.
Because only then
Exactly.
we will be able to, work upon the things that you have
If you
observed.
can't see something, just
Positive
try to like.
criticism will be the best option here if
Yeah,
we really
exactly.
must be something. Learn from his mistakes. You can learn from his mistakes too if you want.
You can tell that like we can learn from it. Like we will try not to do that in the.
Maybe in the future we might do the same mistake.
Okay.
And guys, you could talk about your own, like, I have an insecurity that I am overexcited sometimes. So you could talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it when my turn comes up. So you can frankly ask
Someone
if
ping that the last guy that to join quickly. Okay. Oh, he has already requested.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
think-
who wants to go next?
Trying to just keep a point. I was trying to just make one point because I had lesser ideas. Right? The topic that I'm talking about for the first time. So I had very less ideas. I was like, okay, if I
Shriniket,
don't
can
say,
you please
I have to say.
pull your mic closer? I mean, we can't hear you properly.
No, I have not spoken yet.
I think I need to improve my vocabulary. And secondly, I need to have more ideas. Ideas on them, I can practice such as I. Third thing, um, I shouldn't get into pressure when I'm unable to say something. वो होता है एंड और कुछ ऑब्जर्व किया होगा तो वो वीडियो देखकर पता चलेगा मुझे तो नहीं अगर if you guys have observed अच्छा about specifically Anuj you were not talking you were talking very less but I think that is because you were a host so शायद इसलिए you were not talking and I was mostly focused on my own body language तो मैं देख रहा था वैसे बाकियों की तरफ बट हैंड मूवमेंट्स जो है शायद मेरे थोड़े नीचे हो गए थे बट बाकियों की मैंने इतनी ऑब्जर्व नहीं की एंड जीडी यू आर नॉट सपोज्ड टू डू कम करना चाहिए ऐसा बोलते हैं आई डोंट सच स्पेसिफिकली and about 3007 you were quite still
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Just a second. I didn't get my thing. Like 3007, you were quiet?
still
Still, I'm in my
you were
videos off, bro. Okay, didn't get it. I didn't get it. Okay.
Okay, so I'll tell. So I think the discussion was kind of healthy. Everyone put their points, and I think somewhere we kind of drifted away on what actually the topic was, right? And the feedback to Anuj, you is like you started your point with the cinema one, right? And after that, starting that one line, you didn't speak about it. You just raised that point, and then you kind of mixed into the group what group was telling. Then you started agreeing with others point, like my society wala point, yeah, jo psyche wala point tha, you started agreeing on that. So I think one feedback that all of us can have is like, first we start on any point that we pick, that the society is the one, or cinema is the one, or the psyche is the one. We should stick to it and then keep on adding all the points or support the others who are speaking about it, so that it will look at like it will tell us that we are standing on what we said, right? Because we are not judging anyone on what is right, what is wrong. We are just picking the points that we feel that it might be a reason, and then stick to it. So this, I think, can be a feedback for everyone, that once we pick any of the point, then we should stick to it and keep adding on the points and support everyone else who is speaking about it. So like that's my feedback, Anish, to you. And again, like as Yash said, like you didn't speak much, so maybe like this is something you can improve. Right. Okay, so and feedback for 1910 was like it was the discussion was quite good. Your communication skills are really good. I appreciate that, and you were quite confident about how you were speaking. So and like the feedback is common for both of us is that like after speaking once or twice, we didn't really add much to the discussion, not contributed that much significantly. We were kind of coming back to the circles on the same point, that society is not accepting, society is not accepting. We like somehow added few more points, that parents are abandoning them, like as a society we are like kind of giving them a very abandoned or type of feeling, we are secluding them, all of that thing. So we added all on an average 2 or 3 points, not more than that. So maybe like in future we should add at least 4 or 5 points when we are talking about it. And feedback about Yash is like again, he was quite drifting away from what he was speaking. And what personally I feel is like you can improve a little bit on your communication skill. You are not that fluent. You were fumbling a while. Maybe it might be because of the internet connection, but what I felt that like it might be because of internet connection, but your voice
Out
was
of ideas.
breaking up. Yeah, so like if you're out of ideas, so maybe like what I personally do is I hear about like many of other people's point, and then somehow combines hare ka chota chota point leke, then I combine and then I speak. Like because what I think is like if we don't have much content or speak about in GD, what we should then focus on improving our body language and speak in a very fluent manner, so that even though we don't have that quality content, if we are speaking very confidently and fluently, that will make an impact, because it's all about making an impact anyhow, be it your body language, be it your vocabulary, be it your communication skill, or be it the content or facts. So out of these 4 or 5 points, even if we have 2 or 3 points, then we'll be able to make an impact on GPA, that okay, that one person is contributing somehow, and people will listen to him. Because if you think like if someone is speaking very fluently with a very loud voice and confidence, right, then I think everyone will listen to him, even though अगर content उतना अच्छा नहीं होता है तो, just in case अगर किसी के साथ होता है in that case. So like that's my feedback. Like you can take it up if you have anything that you can, like if it helps, then I think it will be good for everyone.
Okay. Any feedback for me? 2001 and
Yeah.
3007.
So I think for you, like I couldn't see your face, so can't tell you much. But the way you were speaking, what I felt was first your internet connection was not good, so your voice was breaking a bit. So it was coming very
Okay.
laggy. Like you were speaking and then कुछ 2-3 सेकंड बाद मेरे को सुनाई दे रहा. And also like even when you were
Okay.
speaking, you were like a little bit slow, right? Because this shows कि यार तुम बहुत धीरे बोल रहे हो. Either you are thinking and then speaking, or you are like in general slow speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Because in GD what I really felt is like I've seen
Okay.
people like fluently, like वो भागते हैं और बोलते हैं, because you like get barely at max 8 to 10 seconds to keep your point. Okay, everyone will be coming from each side, speaking their point, want to put in and contribute. So whenever you get a chance, like maybe you should have your like have a loud voice and be very fluent, I think.
Okay.
And
And
for
any feedback for me, guys? 11 to
yeah,
2001.
Yeah, so for you, I think your communication skills are quite good. Your voice is quite loud, which is really good because so the one thing that like I think everyone can agree on is like whoever speaks really good English have a command in his language and is loud and clear and confident. उसका ध्यान हर एक का ध्यान उसकी तरफ जाएगा. And then it comes down to what you are speaking, what points you are putting. So like everything was good. One thing that I think you can improve on is like we kind of, because what I think your tone was kind of very aggressive. What personally I felt. It was coming out like that कि venture यही है सही, मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ वही सही है, something like that, right?
आवाज ही ऐसी है.
So, so maybe like you can try speaking slowly or maybe a little bit in a slower pitch. Then it will look like okay, you are just putting your point rather than in a very aggressive manner. That like that's what I felt. It might be not true, but that's what I felt.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. I have heard this, but in the news, like latest, like in the last week news, it was that an army has given notice by someone that you should start thinking of recruiting transgender in your armed forces. So army said they will be into it.
The test results of CAP will play.
Yeah, this is so 1107. I think your content was really good. Like you had like all the knowledge and you had facts and everything. Like just like
बहुत ही aggressive था क्या?
बहुत नहीं था, but
I seriously didn't feel it actually.
Not that much कि यार मतलब तुम मेरा मार ही दोगे, जान से मार दोगे, वैसा कुछ नहीं था. But it should be like that the way 1910 or maybe Yash was speaking or maybe Anuj was putting points. Like so maybe after this call you can see the video and then you can decide by yourself like were you really that aggressive, and then compare yourself with others who were speaking.
Yeah, as 2001 told right now that my tone was very aggressive. I think I'll definitely consciously work on it. And everybody else spoke quite good, but the thing is we were actually repeating the points more often. The points everybody were discussing, all of us we were again reiterating the same point again and again. That is the only thing.
Just one point here, like how much time we get in the SSB? I think 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes.
Yeah, so then we should start, rather than discussing for 20 minutes, we should speak for 10 minutes. Because अगर किसी को कुछ पता नहीं होगा ना, so then we'll keep on repeating.
Moreover, the candidates are also high, so time भी कम मिलेगा मैं बोलने के लिए. Candidates भी ज़्यादा होंगे.
Yes. So we should keep this like just 10 minutes, so that like everyone can speak and put limited
reminder over there.
Yes, we get, I think. No, not reminder, but I guess like they said that okay, time's over, discussion is finished. Just after 10 minutes. Yes. So 1107, you can like give us feedback about others as well.
Yeah, as I told, everybody spoke quite well, and the demeanor was also quite well. Not like me, like everybody, like the tone was very toned down, not aggressive and all. Everybody were great. But the thing was, only negative I found was we were all reiterating the same points again and again. That's it. We need to work upon our facts, everybody. We need to work upon our facts, get more knowledge, and that's it. We need to channel our thought process. That's it.
Cool. Nice.
The general.
I'll go line by line. Anuj, that we discussed that education is very important, right? But a luck factor plays a part in it. So just like you said कि आपको knowledge नहीं थी, ठीक है? तो वही वाला फैक्टर अगर आ गया तो आपको दूसरों के पॉइंट से उसके कंक्लूजन्स निकालने पड़ेंगे. मैंने काफी पॉइंट्स में ये किया था कि what someone said X, Y, and Z sentences. What will those sentences impact in a way in the future? वो देखना पड़ेगा आपको. तो आप क्या पॉइंट्स अपने आप बना लोगे. And towards Yash in GD, in SSB, what I've heard is we do not get time to speak, right? Everyone agrees with that. हो जाता है, कोई fish market हो जाता है. Never ask questions. वो जो precious time मिला ना points दो. Question पूछ ले दूसरे बोलने लग जाएंगे and उन लोग को फायदा हो जाएगा. समझ रहे हो? आपने तो क्वेश्चन पूछ के बाकी सब उसका आंसर देने में लग गए और उनका फायदा हो गया. GTO फिर आपको नोटिस नहीं कर पाया. ये मेरे को पर्सनली लगता है कि क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछना चाहिए. and 1107 मेरे को aggressive तो नहीं लगे यार, but your facial expressions were very convincing. जो बोल रहे थे ना वो दिख रहा था, मतलब इमोशनली करेक्ट हो रहे थे टॉपिक से. And 200, yes, passionate.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That,
Felt
that
it.
I agree.
And 2001, everything that you said about the group and about me, totally agree with that. I'll just add a little point कि मेरी ये गलती है, अभी भी है, शायद आज करी नहीं करी, but it is the same for you. If you speak 10 sentences, 7 of them are top sentences, top class sentences, but you tend to repeat yourself a lot. And what I have heard in the army, that you have to be to the point. जैसे वो SRT में नहीं होता छोटा सा सेंटेंस आंसर सिचुएशन, यू टेंड टू रिपीट अ पॉइंट, वो आप कमांड दोगे ना दूसरे को, वो कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा, ये मुझे लगता है, राइट. तो मेरी भी यही गलती होती है, आज हुई नहीं हुई, दैट इज अप टू यू गाइस. इफ इट इज देयर देन यू कैन टेल मी that I am consciously trying to,
So maybe like we extended this whole discussion to 20 minutes. So this might be a reason that we started repeating all our points.
You were out of points
That was a
actually.
general consensus that we are repeating our points. So maybe that was the reason कि हम सब वही repeat एक ही बात बार बार. समझ रहे हो?
एक्चुअली रिपीट हम पहले
English में
करते
एक
थे,
sentence
पहले 10 मिनट में हम
हाँ
पहले 10 मिनट में ही बहुत रिपीट कर दिया है, बाद में फिर नए पॉइंट्स निकलने लगे.
न्यूज चैनल नहीं होते आज तक में एक हेडलाइन आई उसको 4 तरीके से बताते हैं, वो कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, वो वाली चीज आ रही है, वो वहाँ पूरा पॉइंट होना पड़ेगा. एक्चुअली यहाँ तो बड़ी सटल सी डिस्कशन और अच्छे डिमीनर से करी हमने, वहाँ फिश मार्केट है तो वहाँ रिपीट करने का वैसे भी चांस नहीं मिलने वाला. दिस इज फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड. अभी तो मैंने अटेंड करी भी नहीं है 5 days की. तो ऑल इन ऑल इट वाज एन ऑसम डिस्कशन.
Okay, I think most of the point that I had has been covered already. So I don't have any such point. Just one thing, somebody spoke, does anybody think about their body? So quite started laughing at that point. So uh, we know that that was not your intention, the thing you were saying.
Yes, I was
Okay, I
getting
don't
into
know. I think Yash is ready. So your intention, a single sentence that, yeah, exactly. So you got my. Okay, that's it. Apart from that, I don't have any other point. I mean, everybody spoke well.
So actually, I wasn't able
Hello,
to.
I mean, that's it. That's it.
I wasn't. मतलब ठीक से बाहर आ नहीं पाया वो sentence. I was trying to make a sentence about chemical imbalance. Right? So उस type of sentence.
Achha, okay.
Yes, choice of word is really
choice
important,
of word.
right? Yes,
So I think my choice of words is quite poor.
Just a bit suggestion over this JD thing. Okay, so can we conduct it? I mean, in the morning. So most of the defense aspirants, I mean, they wake up early, not so early. I mean, by 8 or 9, everybody wakes up. So
If it is possible,
we get
we can
good
have a
bandwidth
discussion
in the
about the time on the
morning,
group.
so there are no network issues.
Can we have a discussion about timing? Anuj, I'd like to make a point. Can we discuss it on the group itself? मतलब अगर किसी को थोड़ा manage करना पड़े, just like he said. नहीं, actually messages allowed नहीं थे, तो मेरे को पता नहीं है अभी क्या सीन है उसका. आज ही allowed हुए हैं. So we can discuss it and others can explain their problems. So one of us can make some changes with their schedule or something. It depends. That I get. Like I wrote 6 to 8, but मेरे लिए ये time ठीक है. ठीक है, suppose किसी और के लिए भी वो time ठीक होता है या फिर सुबह का time ठीक हो, तो they can change the time according to their needs. Right.
And just like one more suggestion, can we use Google Meet rather than Zoom, because इसमें time limit है.
अच्छा.
ठीक है. Cool. I
Safer.
think.
And
Mhm.
Okay.
ठीक है. ठीक है.
Okay. Fine.
No worries.
I'd like to add one more point. This point एक और है कैसा होता है when you try to say something but you say something else तो उसका meaning ही एकदम change हो जाता है. So many points that I said जो मैंने observe किया है तो उससे ऐसा लग रहा था I come from background जो कि बहुत open minded नहीं है. So ऐसा एक wrong impression पड़ जाता है. So I wanted to add this. So that's why it's important.
Yeah, exactly. Choice of words should be, choose
Choice
very
of
carefully.
words.
And just
Okay,
one feedback for 1107 as well.
CD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the thing is like this is gonna be your first attempt, right? Like you are fresher. So like what I really want you to is like take advantage of this opportunity at the fullest, right? Don't don't afford to do any kind of mistakes, be in your screen in or be in your PPDT, sorry, psych or other tasks. Because what like everyone can agree is like your first chance is golden chance because a lot of your mistakes might be overlooked because you are fresher, you don't have fully experience to the whole process, right? And
Okay.
also there won't be any fish market in any of the discussion for freshers that I have personally experienced because everyone is new, they really don't know, irrespective of the people who are coming from coaching, right? Because they know उनको बताया गया होता है कि ऐसे ऐसे करना होता है. So what
Achha, I'd like
I
to ask a
personally,
question.
Yeah.
You're a repeater, right? 2001.
Yeah. Yes,
So can you tell me what is the value of OIR test in the screening in? I really want to know. Does it hold 50% weightage?
25%.
25%.
Yes.
Okay, because I read somewhere, I don't remember the source,